Aston Villa, ooh, it was quite a difficult one. I was watching Aston Villa versus Liverpool, and I did appreciate how well they defended and sprung counterattacks. But I think maybe against Man United, it might have to be slightly different. The defense and the goalkeeper will probably stay the same. You got Pepe Reina in goal, who did have a quite a good performance against Liverpool, his old club. And they're going to play Ngoya at right back, House at centre back with Mings. Mings is first name on team sheet for me. They are probably going to play Taylor at left back as well again. And in the midfield three, right, they played McGinn, Louise, and Grealish against Liverpool. But I feel against that Man United midfield, which is probably going to have Bruno Fernandes and Pogba, I feel like we need to steel up that midfield a little bit more. So I'm going to put Nakamba in there with Louise, and I'm going to put McGinn there as well. And I'm going to have to put Grealish on the left. I know he's not a great workhorse in terms of going up and down that wing. And I know he likes to play in left central midfield, but I'm going to have to put him there so they can spring attacks down the left. And I'm going to go with El Ghazi and Davis, who worked tremendously hard at Liverpool. And he's going to have to put another shift in against Manchester United.
Yeah, two things I just want to add to that. I think one, a little bit controversial saying Mings is first on the team sheet. A lot of people would assume it'd be Grealish.
Yeah, but if you're going to get out of a relegation battle, you're going to have to shore up the defense. And Mings is their best defender. And, Grealish, he's been huffing and puffing, but he hasn't been bringing the goods. I would say Mings is first on the team sheet for me.
No, that's a fair comment, Big Sam. Gary. I also wanted to touch on a little bit of a shame for Reina on his return to Anfield.
He did put in a very good performance. He was very loud. He communicated well with his defense, and he went out and caught lots of crosses and made a few smart saves. So it's just a shame he wouldn't have been there with the Liverpool fans, because I know they would have given him a great reception.
Yeah, 100%. So moving on to the Manchester United predicted lineup. Now, I don't think, as I said, Lindelof is a doubt, but if he is fit, they won't risk him unnecessarily. But if he is fit, I think he will play. And I think, especially the way Manchester United are playing at the moment, you don't want to change any of that. So with that being said, it's the same lineup against Bournemouth. Most of you already know who that is, but for those of you who don't, I'll quickly go through it now. You have De Gea in goal. You have Wan-Bissaka as right back and Shaw as left back. You have Maguire and Lindelof as a centre-back pairing. You have a midfield three of Matic, Pogba and Fernandes. You'll probably find they'll be in that order from defence to offence. And you have Greenwood on the right, Martial through the centre and Rashford on the left. It's a scary starting 11,
It's a very scary starting 11. I feel like when you had one world-class midfield in Pogba, teams could handle it, but when you put a second one in there, they just unlock the other midfield and other defenses. So, but let us now get into how we think each team are potentially going to win the game via the tactical pad. It may be quite a long day against Manchester United. They have to be very, very patient and very disciplined. And that's why I've gone with Nakamba and Louise in midfield, because I think that battle is going to be key for them if they can stop Fernandes and Pogba getting on the ball all the time. And they're going to have to try and intercept those passes into Bruno and into Pogba, because we both know those players want to get into the pockets in between the defense and midfield. And if they can do that and spring out attacks like they did against Liverpool, which was very effective, they just failed to score, unfortunately. Usually they would attack with their star man Grealish, who is the creative hub for Aston Villa. But thinking more that, can Aston Villa target the left side of Manchester United's defence and get El Ghazi, who is a tricky player? Can he take on Shaw? Shaw is no slouch and he's not a bad defender, but he is probably the lesser defender of the fullbacks versus Wan-Bissaka. And
I think it's worth mentioning, just if I may add on to that, is against Liverpool, I think they targeted Robertson over Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's the easier target, and I think that's the same could be said for Shaw when it comes to Wan-Bissaka. I think Shaw is a lesser defender when you compare the two of them.
Yeah, and they got Robertson in a bit of trouble with a yellow card as well.
That's a good point.
So can they do that? And you got Davies, who's very quick as well. So can they get El Ghazi and Davies in one-on-one situations with Maguire, who Maguire is a very good defender, but he will likely struggle with pace. As we know, he doesn't have the greatest pace. So I feel if you have that and you have Grealish and McGinn coming in and making late runs into the box, can they get that goal, which really will, if they can get the first goal, will give them something to fight for.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I think the against Liverpool, it wasn't actually creating chances that was Aston Villa's problem. I think it's actually just a conversion of chances. They actually got quite a few chances down both flanks, which I
Hmm.
think they'll try to exploit again. Um, but it was just a conversion of those chances. So I think Liverpool, as we all know, they've been very good defensively this season. So if they can create chances against that Liverpool side, they should be able to create chances against Manchester United. They just need to be much better at their finishing. So I'm going to be really controversial here with who I think is going to be really key for Manchester United, and I'll tell you why. I think Aston Villa know that what they're going to try and do is they're going to try and get Fernandes to get into these positions and Pogba either going there or going over with Fernandes and creating the overload on the right. But I think what they're going to do, they're going to try and set up to try and follow these players so they can't get into these positions, or at least they don't get space in these positions. With that being said, I think what's going to be key for Manchester United is going to be this player right here. And I'll tell you why. If you've seen in the last few games, I think he has 2 assists. And I think the reason why that's key is because a lot of teams, when they're playing Manchester United, certainly when they played Brighton and certainly when they played Sheffield United, they're concentrating here. This is what they're thinking about. They're also thinking about this guy and they're thinking about this wonder kid over here as well. And I
Hmm.
think what that enables Wan-Bissaka to do is he gets into these positions and he gets a little bit of space and he's able to put in a ball. Now, for a long time this season, people have been criticising Wan-Bissaka's offensive attributes, but I think he's improved it a little bit since the lockdown. They might fall asleep on Wan-Bissaka a little bit because there is a lot of quality here which you're going to be trying to concentrate on and going to be trying to nullify.
If you want some more news, debates, previews, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification for Fickle Sports. See you later.